Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar and I'm your DevOps SRE DevSecOps coach. I have close to 18 plus years of experience working in multiple MNCs around the globe and having in-depth knowledge of DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. So I would like to introduce you one certification program in a DevOps, and that is we call it DevOps Certified Professional. Now this is a 2 months of program, 25 tools of DevOps you will learn, and apart from that you will also get the access to the LMS, lifetime access to the videos portal. It's a certification program, and you will have 25 assignments and 2 projects along with it. It's a completely weekend program, so here you have classes on Saturday and Sunday. So as part of this course, you will learn multiple things. Here you see that you will learn Linux, AWS, Docker, Jira, Confluence, Python, Git with GitHub, SonarQube, Maven, Gradle, Packer, Artifactory, Selenium, JMeter, Ansible, Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform, Jenkins, Datadog, Splunk, and Neuralink. Now, how do we, apply for this? So how can you reach out to us? So you have a WhatsApp number and email ID. So please reach out to us, and we'll help you to onboard this program. Apart from this DevOps certified professional programs, we are offering other certifications as well in a DevSecOps, SRE, and one of the very comprehensive programs which we have is in Master in DevOps Engineering. Yeah, so feel free to get in touch with us and then enroll for it. Thank you.
So here it is. Now what command I'm going to run it? So check that Vault version, and you see here, this is the one of the latest one, 1.11. Now after this, I'm going to run the Vault. How do we run it? This is the command to run it. Now remember that this command to help, I'll share all these commands whichever I'm running, and this is for the help for the client, and this is a help for server. Okay, so just get comfortable with it. It will help you to do the stuff. So these are the client commands actually. All these commands I'm going to teach you. Now, if you want the server help, world server help, as I said, like same command you can use for the client also and server also. Mind it, same command you can use for the client also, server also. In the server mode, if you see that you have these are the options to get dev options. Okay, and these are the some command options which you can add it for the log and all. And here some the certificate and other stuff also is there, CA files and also. Okay, so can we start the Vault server using this command? This is the dev format which I'm starting. Any questions so far, all of you?
So far, so good, Rajesh.
Yeah. So now I'm starting the dev server. Mind it, same utility you can use for the client and server both. Okay, so here I started it. Now this is in dev mode. So remember that all the storage which will be done in the memories. Okay, I'll talk about the how can we set up the app engine, a secret engine for the storage also. That I'll show you the later. First, let's learn that. So if you see that here, you should read this. Don't ignore it. There is a unseal key. I don't have to unseal actually because in a dev mode automatically it's unseal. So I don't have to do that. But if it is a production mode, you have to unseal. You have to unseal it before using it. So now how do we go about it? So if you're using the command line, then you can use this one to set up address. So this is basically your uh, Vault server address. Okay, 8200. This is the Vault server address PowerShell. And now this is the root token. Using that, you can access it. Okay, so this is done. After that, set the root token. So let me copy paste root token. I need it, and here I'll just copy and paste. Now this start with HVS. This is also has certain significance, but I'm not complicating right now. This is done. Okay, so this you have to set it up in another console, another, because you have to open up client also, right? So PowerShell, and here set this, done. So this is a PowerShell actually I'm setting up. Okay, so this is done. After that, you have to log in. So this command vault login, the address is the this one, and the root token which I set the variable here. you can use it. So this is how you log into the vault after running the dev format. Enter. Okay, now you see that here success, and here you have a token accessor for this particular user and all stuff like that. So this is how you can start this. This is how you get the token, and this is how you log in. After that, you can also set the environment. So if you think like I don't want to run this URL again and again, this URL again and again. So this you can set one environment like this. Okay, environment, vault address, and this one. So set the environment, clear the screen, and setting the environment. Oh, copy paste issues. Clear the screen here. So now after that, directly you can, after setting up this, directly you can run. Don't have to pass that again and again, that address of server. So now here you see the seal type submit, initiated true, sealed false because the dev and some of the things. So slowly you'll get used to all this keyword one by one and get going. So now I set it up and got the status. Now how can we use that vault using UI or API? So here if you see that root token is set, okay, so root token is set. So in order to use with API, okay, in order to use with API, okay, you have to set this variable, which I did it already, and this is the URL pattern for it. By the way, this is the for PowerShell. Okay, invoke web request is for PowerShell, but Linux command also will be something similar. So here the your URI is this one, and here you are padding the header you have a token, so authentications, and this is how it happens. So let me first set this, and oops, I did wrong thing, clear the screen. Let me copy, paste, enter, and then copy, paste, enter. And now you see that here response, you set this, and this is how you can use this also. Now you want to use the UI, open up this UI because you're in Windows here. Here it is. So what is your token password? So I copied the password somewhere, and here it is. This is the token. So now I'm going to use it, token, and done. So this is the UI part actually. So here you have a secrets. Here you have access, whatever the access token is enabled right now, authentication method. Policies, you have few, and these are some of the tools and all stuff like that. And this you logged in. So UI also you can work, but for learning purpose in DevSecOps we don't use UI because most of the time we want to automate everything, so you have to learn command line. So yeah, so this is how in using the PowerShell I showed you how to check the version, how to install it, how to log in, okay, how to log in, and how to set the variables, environment variables, and so on. And after that, how to create a request for API and all, and how to access the dashboard. Any questions? Are you comfortable?
Rajesh, this API call, I did not see it in action. What is really happening with that command?
Just I set the response, so I have not used it. Actually, I'll use in just a few minutes.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Then it's fine.
Yeah,
I was missing that. Okay,
yeah. So here, so I just showed you the in Windows, but from now we will migrate to Linux. Okay,
awesome.
so
Okay.
let's get started. So now this is the demo, and I'm going to show you. So let me have some discussions before that. So let me cover this sum up. Installations, I told you it's very simple. Just download the executable and run it the dev or production mode. And development mode, there's some specification you should know. Running on the local host without SSL, in memory storage, start unsealed, UI enabled you have by default, and your secret engine where your secret is being stored is a key and value. This is one type of secret engine which is inbuilt actually. So key and value. So what is the meaning of seal and unseal? So very simple thing. When a vault server is started, it start with a sealed state in a production, by the way, in not dev. And in this state, vault is configured to know where and how to access the physical storage. Okay. So, but does not know how to decrypt any of it. So unsealing is the process of obtaining the plain text root key, which was when you get this one when you start the server, root key and necessary to read the description key to decrypt the data, allowing access to the vault. Prior to unsealing, almost no operations are possible with vault. That's the reason we are running that in the dev mode, so we don't have any complication learning the tools. For example, authentications, managing the mount tables, etc. all are not possible. The only possible operations are to unseal the vault and check the status of the seal. Okay, so the data stored by the vault is encrypted. Say, so the data stored by the vault is encrypted. Vault needs the encryption key in order to retrieve the data. Encryption key is also stored with the data in the keyring, but encrypted with another encryption key known as a root key. Therefore, to decrypt the data, vault must decrypt the encryption key, which requires the root key, and unsealing is the process of getting the access to the root key. Root key is stored in a root key stored alongside all other vault data, but is encrypted by yet another mechanism, the unseal key. So in a simple way, if I put it up, when you start the vault in the production server mode, then it will be an unseal. So now the question is how to store the data, encrypt and decrypt the data. So basically, you have to have a root key for it. But how do we get a root key? So root key, for getting a root key, you have to unseal the vault. So if you unseal the vault, then only you get the root key, and that key can be used for encryption and decryption. Okay, so most vault data is encrypted using the encryption key in the keyring. The keyring is encrypted by the root key, and the root key is encrypted by the unsealed key. So this is the way you have to understand that. Okay, so now how do we start the dev server? I have already done so. So you saw that. And things. How to interact using the CLI, ULI, and API, I showed you. This is the command using CLI. These are the environment variable you can set to avoid that using again and again. Vault address, which is the address of the vault server. Vault token, which is the token value of the request. Vault skip verify, no verify TLS certificate. Vault format, specify output format. UI, I showed you that how to access it, and API also how to create the curl and all stuff like that. You did it. So now what are the key takeaways from this? So Vault is a single vanity from the client for the client and server. Vault can be started in a dev mode for local testing. All Vault communication goes through the API. You can interact with the Vault using CLI, UVI, and API, and you can use these variables address and token with the CLI. This is something which we have. Now let's understand third part of it, and that is authentication method. Okay, so what are the authentication method which we have, which I'll show you. The first, let's discuss, and then we'll have a demo for that. Authentication means how to log into Vault. There are a lot of method which we have, and I would like to show you. See that this image is very important image. Please hardcode that. So the left side, if you see that there's so many authentication method you have. You can authenticate. You can set up authentication method in Vault, Azure also, Google Cloud also, AWS also, and GitHub also, Kubernetes also, LDAP, Okta, Radius, and so many. Okay, so these are the list of authentication method. Now, which one I use just 5 minutes before for the demo? I use the token one, which is the built-in. Actually, this is the built-in one, built-in authentication method. So here, what happens? We have authentication method through the policy. Let me So through the policy, we set the authorization, and then you access the secret engine where you store the key and secrets basically. Now, secret engine where the storage happens also, there's so many types. right side, look at it.
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devoxschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.